Hello, and welcome to the very first review of Raw and Smackdown on the WrestleTrain Express, or WrestleJunkie is what we're calling it for right now because that's what I did. Either way, I'm your host, Micah. You can follow me at Micah Kool-Aid on Twitter, and I'm here to talk about Raw and Smackdown. If you didn't see the introduction video that I have, you can go see that on my other uploads. And the format that I'm going to do for now, until otherwise stated, is Raw and SmackDown reviews on Tuesday, NXT and 205 Live reviews on Thursday, any other shows, for example, New Japan, which I can't wait for, whenever they come out. So, for tonight, I'm going to talk about Raw and SmackDown shows for this week, starting with Raw's match for January 1st of 2018, the Happy New Year show brought to us in Miami, Florida, my home state, in one of the weirdest places on here. So, let's start with the beginning of the show. It starts with a video package that shows that there will be a Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns match for the IC title, and a match between Asuka and Alexa Bliss. As y'all can see, I have notes. I'm an old man. As I get older, my memory fades and stuff, so I have to write things down to keep my memory fresh and also be able to provide to you all the best material as I possibly can. So once they have the video and all that stating the matches that are going to be happening tonight, Kurt Angle is shown backstage with Alexa Bliss. And Alexa is pitching a fit about how much she does not want to be doing this match tonight with Asuka. How much Asuka could possibly even fight her anyways if she wins the Women's Royal Rumble match. And as well as that she just doesn't want to face her due to Asuka attacking her last week. Which Kurt Angle says, tough cookies, you're going to have to do it. And then the funniest thing is that they play Kurt's music. He's like, I got to go. And then he runs away. Which thus indicates that they just play music for people backstage, and they're like, crap, that's my music. Gotta stop eating this cheeseburger. I'll be back. I gotta go, guys. I got a match to do. Anywho, jokes aside, it was kind of weird because it was very clear that they were saying a script, and Kurt, for some reason, doesn't act very natural around Alexa. Either way, that's how I felt. And Alexa also didn't feel very natural again talking with Kurt. As I said, either way, that's just how the cookie crumbled. Kurt went out to the main ring and started the show. Introduced people to tonight's Monday Night Raw, gave them a good old Happy New Year, and set up that the Royal Rumble was going to happen, and announced that John Cena, the free agent, put himself in the Royal Rumble match via tweet. Because that's the way that we do things now. Yeah. So, Kurt also states that for the Women's Royal Rumble match, it will also have 30 competitors and have all the same rules as the Men's Royal Rumble match, which is good. That's a good call. That's a good sign. I prefer it that way, and we'll see how that goes. As Kurt is also talking more and more about the match, the Bar shows up. And who is the Bar? That is Sheamus and Cesaro. They're not officially called the Bar, but they are the Bar. Because they set the bar. Yard. Anywho, Sheamus and Cesaro comes out, and they're stating that Kurt had shown favoritism towards his own son by giving him a random match with them, which Kurt doesn't really go against. He's mostly just saying, yeah. He's not saying yeah, but he's not saying no. He's basically just like, it is what it is. That's kind of what he's like this episode. So, he's just talking about how Sheamus and Cesaro wants to have the rematch and that Jason Jordan didn't deserve it. And out comes Jason Jordan, Kurt Angle's illegitimate son is the word that I'm going to use. And Jason Jordan is stating how he deserved the match and that he's worked hard and that he's got all these opportunities and stuff, and that he will take on, if you see right here, that's Marvel, the little kitten. She's just right here. I don't know why, but she's here. But either way, back to the match. Well, back to the show because the match is about to happen. Jason Jordan is stating that he'll take on Sheamus or Cesaro. And anytime, any place, anywhere. Out comes Seth Rollins after Kurt Angle announces that Jason Jordan will be facing Cesaro. And Seth Rollins is pretty kind of disappointed in Jason Jordan, it seems like. He seems to not really be copacetic best buddies with his teammate, as he should, because it's a very mismatched team. It makes no sense. It came out of nowhere. Either way, so they Seth Rollins is talking about how he can't he doesn't like how Jason Jordan is setting up not talking to him about what he's going to do and how he's going to do it and all sorts of stuff, and how he doesn't actually think that he's even going to win his match against Cesaro. But due to Jordan being his teammate, he is going to stay ringside and support him. So the first match of Raw in 2018 is Jason Jordan versus Cesaro. Pretty good match. It's pretty even at the beginning. Mid-match, actually, this is something I caught. Cesaro started targeting Jason Jordan's leg. I think it was his left leg. And if we all remember, around last year, Jason Jordan was having a leg injury around Survivor Series. I believe it was his left leg. That it wasn't allowing him to go to his match and to be a part of the Survivor Series team. And Cesaro was exploiting that and bringing it back to attention because it's an injury. Storyline-wise, it's an injury. And he was doing a lot of locks to it, sharpshooters, beat downs on it. And Jason Jordan was selling it like no one else. If anyone says that Jason Jordan isn't a good wrestler, that means you basically like Enzo Amore, and he's your favorite wrestler in ring. Because Jason Jordan is fantastic. And he's one of the best characters in the company. And that also brings me to one of my second things. For this entire match, the crowd was just crapping on it, man. They just weren't having it. They just didn't really care about what was going on. Constantly in the match, they are just heckling, saying stuff like, "Who's your daddy?" "This is boring," or something of the sort, heckling the match. Even though it was a great match. It was a really good match. Well wrestled, storyline well, and progressed a whole bunch of stuff for the tag division, Jason Jordan, Seth Rollins, and all of their relationships. And it was a really good match. During the match, at one point, Sheamus isn't really getting that much involved, and neither is Seth. But at one point, Sheamus does. Sheamus, blatantly, I think, distracts the ref or pulls Jordan down when the ref isn't looking, and it allows Cesaro to do more damage. Rollins eventually gets fed up and starts attacking Sheamus, which then allows Jordan to get the victory with his finisher, which is like a pop-up neck breaker. And that got him the win for the 1-2-3. After the match, Jason Jordan was celebrating with Seth Rollins by raising his hand, and Seth really wasn't having it. He just kept his hand up after Jordan raised it, just standing there, very disinterested, very not a fan of it. It was very good storytelling because WWE has this really weird knack that when a random team does stuff together, they're automatically best friends. And that's just not what Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins are. They're actually two completely separate people and characters. They have no correlation with each other. So they should not be just buddy-buddy all of a sudden just because they have titles. It shouldn't be dysfunctional. They shouldn't hate each other or not have interest in each other. But they have no connection. And they should be weird. They should not be a flowing unit yet. But that's the end of that match. We're now going to move on ahead to the next segment that happened in the show, which was a interview with Renee Young with Roman Reigns. She is talking to Roman about his match against Samoa Joe for later in the show and how he's going to deal with that and what's going to go down. And Joe's basically saying that, Roman is basically saying that originally he used to think that Joe was a good competitor and a good challenger for the WWE Intercontinental title. But due to him injuring Dean Ambrose, injuring in quotation marks because Dean had already had the injury, but they're blaming it on Samoa Joe attacking him after the match. Due to injuring Dean Ambrose, that He doesn't like Joe. He doesn't even look at Joe as a competitor anymore. He looks at him as like a straight up enemy because he hurt his brother. And by him hurting his brother, he ain't cool with that. He ain't cool with him, and he doesn't want to just do a match. He wants to fight him and beat him up because the one thing you do is not hurt his brother. Even though it's weird because it's a wrestling match, so the main goal is to technically hurt your opponent. He should have said not injure my brother or cause extreme harm. But either way, it was a nice segment, nice promo. Roman was very serious, no jokes, no anything. He was gung-ho Roman, ready to defend his belt, and he seemed very hurt that Dean is injured, and that he wants revenge, and that he is going to try not to get disqualified during the match, because I didn't add the caveat for the Intercontinental title match that is going to happen tonight on last night's Raw, that if Roman ends up getting disqualified from the match, he will lose the title. Next segment, or match per se, is actually Bray Wyatt versus Apollo Crews with Titus Worldwide at ringside. So, basically, Bray just beats the crap out of Apollo. For most of the match, he's just beating him up, showing dominance, which technically Bray should. He was a previous WWE champion. He was a previous tag team champion. He has been there longer. He is in a current feud right now with a certain Woken person. Yes. And, it's good that Bray is showing dominance and getting wins. It's not against anyone important, which is what Bray really needs, but he is getting wins. Apollo does some offense, and the Miami crowd is actually pretty pro Apollo. They are pretty into what he is doing and how he's doing it. And my mic just fell, so you might hear that, but don't worry about that because I'm going to keep the ball rolling. But I'm not going to lie to you guys because I'm a human being. I messed up. I hit the table. The mic fell down. Ooh ah, ooh ah. Anywho, Apollo does his flips and enziguris to Bray, and he stumbles around and whatnot and gets some pinfalls. Crowd's pretty into it, but Bray powers through. At one point, he's about to hit the Sister Abigail, and Dana Brooke jumps onto the ringside apron, and Dana Brooke, she looks like a very adult lady. Either way, Bray scares her off, and she falls on top of Titus, who catches her. That distracts Bray quick enough for Apollo to try and hit his finisher, which is like a 180 power bomb. But right as he's lifting up, Bray hops back down, hits a quick Sister Abigail, and gets the 1, 2, 3 on Mr. Cruz and gets the victory. Shortly after the match is over, yes, delete with this swiping motion of the finger, not the other one where your hand is out like this, because that means a different thing. Anywho, Bray comes out and he's sorry, not Bray. Hardy is on the Titantron and saying basically a whole bunch of convoluted stuff that comes out to saying that, hey, Bray, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to destroy you. Once Sister Abigail's powers are gone, there will be nothing left of you, and I will be able to delete you. That was loud. I hope my neighbors weren't scared of that. I'm going to drink some of this lemonade. Anywho, yeah, that brings us into a promo segment that happened with Nia Jax. So Nia Jax is walking around backstage with a thing of Tupperware, and out of nowhere, Alexa Bliss comes out, and she's like, hey, Nia, where you going? Like, aren't you going to be in my corner for this match tonight with Asuka? I really need you. Nah, girl, I gotta go help Enzo. He's in the hospital right now. What are you talking about? You're my friend. You need to help me in this situation. I need you right now. If you're going to go help Enzo of all people, you decide if it's me or him. The girl got her needs, girl. And Nia Jax basically walks away, leaving her best friend, Alexa Bliss, in a corner by herself to face Asuka later tonight. Crowd seemed very hyped for this Nia Jax, Enzo Amore thing, I hate it. I write here in my notes, actually, that the WWE creative has no idea what to do with Nia. At one point, they're booking her like a monster. At another point, they're booking her as a very competent competitor who wants a title. And then at another point, she's a girly girl, like a teenager almost, complete with backpack, trying to get the affection of a sleazeball and Enzo Amore. I mean, Enzo, we as the viewers already know that Enzo is not a very welcoming guy. You wouldn't take him to go meet your parents, personally. He would probably talk you to death in the drive there. Anywho, and it's weird that this is what people's into, but if it's doing something for them, it's entertainment. For this fan, not particularly a fan of the situation, but at least Nia's doing something, I guess. Hopefully she'll become what she really should be. So, anywho, that takes us into Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. If there was a match to show the gap between in-ring capabilities, it would be this match. Asuka dominated Alexa. There was no doubt in the middle of the match that Asuka was in complete control. She barely looked like she broke a sweat. Alexa got just a few moves, like a neck breaker and 2 or 3 drop kicks in. The rest of it was Asuka just basically toying with her. Eventually, Asuka hits the flying arm bar on Alexa and makes her tap out, and that's that. That's just the end of that. Alexa loses. Asuka gets a win over the champion, thus making her basically the next contender very soon for the championship, and also pushing her to be a better, bigger opponent for Alexa. Very good use of Asuka. Asuka should be this dominant. Asuka will be this dominant because no one is ready for Asuka, as she states all the time. And yeah, it was crowd was also highly into Asuka. Very, very much into her. So that brings us into promo with recapping the Roman Reigns Samoa Joe feud, and once it finishes, it comes back to Renee Young interviewing Samoa Joe, and she actually calls out Samoa Joe to be in the interview very blasé, very unenthused, very not really wanting to talk to him, because by storyline, Samoa Joe was the person who injured her husband, and we all technically know that. So Samoa Joe comes out, and he's basically talking about how it's because of him that the Shield are not all champions at one time. It's because of him that Dean Ambrose is injured. And I quote, this is what he said: "Because of me, Dean Ambrose is a stay-at-home husband living off of his wife's paycheck," which is not only a great line, it made better gravitas because Renee Young was there and able to feel the emotional effect of that. She literally scoffed and was so upset that Joe said those things about her husband, which she should be. It shouldn't be all happy gumdrops and rainbows. She shouldn't be unbiased. That's her husband, and that's who I believe she thinks is the best. And yeah, she should be upset. She should not like what Joe is saying, and she should feel personally attacked. And she shows it perfectly with her emotional range and voice. She is awesome. Renee Young, top tier person on mic and commentary and backstage segments by far. Joe goes on further to state that he's not going to have Roman just get himself disqualified. He is going to beat Roman, which is good. He doesn't need to be like a smarmy heel. He needs to be a guy who's like, I'm going to beat him because I want to beat him because I am that darn good. Next up is a match between Braun Strowman versus Rhino. Braun Strowman beats the crap out of Rhino and Heath Slater. Match is over. But in all actuality, the crowd was very much into Rhino. But I don't know what this cat is doing. Marvel, what are you doing? Get out of here. You're in my shot. This is the cat. Sorry about that. Technically, she wasn't doing anything, but it was very distracting. And I will not edit that out because I'm a person. As I said, this is my life. You guys are a part of my life. That was the cat. Her name's Marvel. She's like 3 months less. And she is a pain. I don't want more cats. This was Cassie's idea. Anywho, back to the match. During the match, the crowd is very much chanting ECW and really a big fan of Rhino, but Braun's overness eclipses anything that everyone else has, and he just destroys Rhino. And then Heath Slater keeps jumping on the apron, and one of the funnier things is that what's his name? Braun gets a microphone and says, "Boy, if you don't want to get these hands, you better stop getting on that ring apron." And Heath gets scared, jumps down while Braun gets back in the ring and has his back turned. Heath jumps in the match, attacking him, which should have been a DQ. But either way, Braun, because he's Braun, basically just picks up Heath, slams him, picks up Rhino, hits his running power slam, gets the 1, 2, 3. Crowd chants for one more. Hits it on Heath Slater. Crowd chants for one more. Rhino. Repeat. I think repeat one more. Braun leaves. Everyone's happy. Braun is most over, and if this guy does not win the WWE title, Universal title, or IC title, or maybe even United States title by the end of this year, it's a travesty. It might be even a Greek travesty. Looking at you, Jay. Anywho, we have a backstage segment with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Seth shows up to Roman and says, "Hey man, do what you got to do, defend your belt, but don't get disqualified. I want us to stay as champions together, and hopefully you can do that without causing any interruption." Roman is like, I'll try. Jason Jordan comes out, and he's basically like that weird buddy who's like, "Yeah, we're part of a crew together. Believe that." It'd be cooler and funnier if I had two people next to me, but I don't. But you get the gist. He's guys, no, okay, believe that, and yeah, it's pretty funny and interesting, and thus once again showing where Jason Jordan stands in the hierarchy of characters and in the locker room with the other competitors. This is really weird for me. Another segment happens with Kane. And Kane, Braun Strowman's walking back from his match, and Kane is back there. He's like, he basically gives Braun a proposition that they should team up together to take out, what's his name, Brock. And Braun basically says no, and if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it by his own hands, and he should be worrying about the beast himself, to Kane. And it's very uncharacteristic to me by Kane because he's a monster. He's, by what they say, the big red machine. A machine shouldn't be asking assistance from somebody else to beat somebody else. It's very unlike Kane's character in my books. Kane should be this giant guy who is a demon. He is from hell. He should just really want to just destroy whoever's in front of him and beat him in because he's that confident in his own capabilities. Him showing that he believes that he needs somebody else just to beat Brock really weakens Kane's overall power, and it shows more so by the end of the whole match entirely. Match by the end of the show. Set up for another promo segment backstage where Kurt Angle is on the phone and Finn Balor shows up. Balor, Finn Balor, Balor, Finn Balor, Finn Balor, Balor. Anywho, that's a personal song that we have in my house. But Finn shows up and he says that he's going to be in the 2018 Royal Rumble. And he hopes to win it because, and this is a little nice thing, that he hasn't gotten his Universal title rematch, which a lot of people don't realize or that they at least don't even acknowledge. And it was it was nice of him to acknowledge and remind people that. But it also brings up more that he is willing to fight again if he has to, just to get another shot for the title. And that shows how much of a fighter and contender he really is. Finn, Kurt is super excited about it, but he says to Finn, "Why are you? What about your match with Elias and the Miztourage tonight? Who's going to be your teammate?" And out comes the Good Brothers, the Club, and tonight is going to be too sweet because we're going to have Finn Balor and the Club form together to make the other club that we don't talk about, but that's in Japan, that has guns as their theme. And it's just going to be too sweet because we have the reformation of the actual club. So, now we have the match of Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental title. Very, very good match. A lot of punches and strikes, a lot of movements. There's not a lot of moves, but it's a lot of just strikes, and both competitors have so much gravitas with each other that the strikes feel like they're shaking the earth themselves, that the ground is moving below them because of how much they want to win and how much they want to fight and how much they want to win this title or retain it. At one point, Roman's gearing up for a Superman punch, and Joe sees it coming. He rolls outside. Roman goes to go and follow up and hit him like he did the week prior, but Joe moves and starts just wailing on Roman. Eventually, Roman gets the momentum back, throws Joe into the ring steps, and he gets tempted to use the ring steps to beat up Joe, but the ref just stops him long enough for Joe to get offense back in his train. Once back inside the ring, Roman hits about 2 Superman punches, which are the dumbest moves in my book, next to the Cobra. Joe kicks out. Joe hits his Uranagi on him, and Roman kicks out. And Crowder on the edge of my seat, on the edge of their seat. I'm at the edge of my seat. Roman and Joe trade a few more blows, and eventually Roman gets the win with a very quick spear, very quick, short, no running start spear. Spears Joe, gets the 1, 2, 3, and Roman retains the title. And yeah, that's great. I definitely thought Joe was going to win, especially since it's 2018 and they like to start the new year off with some great new developments and changes. But that did not happen. As I said, really good match. I say they got maybe another one left in the bank because it seemed like they were still holding back maybe for the pay-per-view. But I highly enjoyed it. I'd say if you're really bored and you want to watch something, I'd say go check it out. Other than that, it was still a good match. Right after the match, though, they show Kurt Angle and Paul Heyman talking backstage, and Paul Heyman's basically just saying, yeah, Brock Lesnar, ooh, he's the best. Which I'm going to get to later. Drew Gulak and Ari Daivari are out for a Cruiserweight promo segment. And first off, if you don't know me, if you don't follow me, if this is your first time watching, first off, follow me. Once again, at Micah Kool-Aid. And second off, you're going to realize real fast, I love Drew Gulak. He is hilarious. He is so funny and knows exactly what to say, how to say, when to say it, and what to do at the right moments. He is fantastic. And if you are sleeping on him, you are just missing out, man. So Drew Gulak and Ari Daivari, who are part of the WrestleTrain, but when Enzo's not there, it's the Drew Train, Drew. And they state that, once again, Enzo is in the hospital, thus he is not capable of defending his WWE Cruiserweight title tonight against Cedric Alexander, who had just gotten the opportunity to fight him for it, I think, about a week ago. Anywho, Cedric, who is very upset, comes out, and he's basically saying, if Enzo's not here, I need a proxy. One of you two need to fight me, which thus Drew Gulak and Ari Daivari both say, well, then we'll both fight you, but only in a tag team match. And since you got no friends, who's going to be your tag team partner? So out comes, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, Goldust. So in a very rare occasion where it's the non-cruiserweight, Goldust teams with Cedric Alexander to face off against Drew Gulak and Ari Daivari, which to this, They win. Cedric Alexander and Goldust get the victory. Immediately when the match starts, Cedric tags in Goldust. Goldust basically kind of beats the crap out of Drew Gulak and Ari Daivari. I don't think they get any real offense in other than like a few pushes. After Goldust basically got as much as he felt like in, he tags in Cedric. Cedric hits the lumbar check on Drew Gulak and gets the win for his team. Crowd was really kind of not into the cruiserweights again, sadly, but they were really into Goldust, and definitely like Cedric Alexander's lumbar check because it's one of the best finishers around. It looks painful. It's great in execution. He does it so fast, and the people that sell it like it's literally breaking their back. Elias does his Elias thing and does a sing along. This one, it feels like most of Elias's songs are made by himself. This one in particular seemed that he was told to sing this song himself. That they told him to say these exact lines with the Miztourage at that, and it was a travesty. It was not good, which is very rare because I end up actually enjoying Elias's songs. They're pretty funny. And this one was just muddled with so much hoopla in it. As they just keep singing along, eventually the club of Finn Balor, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows come out to face Elias and the Miztourage. Pretty kind of standard three-way tag match. It's pretty quick, actually. Elias is doing a lot. They're mostly working over Finn. Eventually, Finn gets the hot tag to Luke Gallows, who clears the ring. Tons of super kicks, big boots, strong moves to everybody. He just beats the snot out of everybody. Eventually, he tags in Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows hit their finisher, the Magic Killer, on Bo Dallas. Finn hits the coup de grace on... as they are setting up for the Magic Killer, Carl Anderson tags in Finn Balor, who then hits the coup de grace, and they get the win for the team. They worked very seamlessly together, very smooth. It seemed natural, and the best part was they seemed just so happy. The best thing about a job, regardless of what you're doing, either sports entertainment, wrestling, working in an office, working outside, washing cars, doing whatever you want to be happy with your job. And all three of those guys had the biggest smiles ever because they were so happy just to be too sweet and together. And hopefully it's not a one-off. Hopefully these guys are going to stay together and it's going to go somewhere. I'm just happy to see that they have something that they want to do with both guys. And that brings us to the final segment of the show, which was a Paul Heyman promo about Brock Lesnar. And if you haven't heard it before, you darn sure heard it this time. And if you have heard it before, you darn sure heard most of the same things again. At one point, Heyman got so into it that I think he started chanting Hebrew because he's Jewish. I guess it was Hebrew. I have no idea what language he was talking. But either way, he got his point across, and that it's always not Brock Lesnar. It's Brock Lesnar and opponents with a plural, meaning he's facing more than one person. And it doesn't matter if it's 2 or all 30 competitors inside of the Royal Rumble match. Brock Lesnar will be walking out of it as the victor. It was standard Paul Heyman. I personally myself got bored because he just kind of repeats himself over and over again. And that I know the outcome is that Brock does win. He takes the title to WrestleMania. Roman beats him, gets the title. It's just the way the story's written. Once Paul Heyman was done doing his chitter-chatter, out came Kane. And he came out, he stared down Brock, chokeslammed Brock, walked, barely got out of the ring, and Brock got up. Once Brock got up, he ran at Kane and clotheslined him with the belt over the rope. And immediately when that happened, and this is what I hate to say, the jobbers or the C-list players of Raw came out to hold back Kane from going further into facing Brock. No one tried to stop Brock. Everyone tried to stop Kane. And that speaks to volume not only to the competitors that were that were trying to stop Kane from fighting because Finn Balor was involved, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Bo Dallas, and as I said, all the C-grade characters and wrestlers were the ones holding back Kane, and that speaks to how they view those guys personally. To me, I might be looking at it too hard, but every time you don't see no Roman Reigns, no Seth Rollins, no Samoa Joe, no Braun Strowman. None of those guys are out there to try and slow it down. It's not in Braun's character to do it, but neither is it for Finn. Finn should want to be beating the crap out of Kane because he attacked him 3 times in a row for no reason. Either way, Raw, that was it. That was a very fun Raw. I highly enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of good times, some good matches, some good storylines, great character growth, great character development. Crowd wasn't too annoying. As I said, I didn't like how they treated the Jason Jordan and Cesaro match, and obviously the way that they treated the 205 Live guys. But everyone seemed to be working well, and it seemed very good. And I got the club that has guns involved. So, good Raw. I'd say check it out. Watch the Hulu version. That's what I like to do. Now, we're going to jump on over to Smackdown Live, which only just happened about 43 minutes ago. Because at the time here in Florida is 10:43. So, we have a video recap. Sorry, I'll start over. Smackdown Live, brought to us in Orlando, Florida on January 2nd, 2018. So, a video recap tells us of all the storylines that happened last week with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and AJ Styles, and that Kevin Owens defeated AJ Styles. Thus, Sami Zayn has a match tonight, or that night, with AJ Styles. AJ is the first person to come out, which is super nice to have someone other than Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon come out to start a promo. I will get there, though. But AJ Styles comes out and welcomes everyone to SmackDown Live, the house that he built. He tells everyone that he has some New Year's resolutions, and a part of them is beating up Sami Zayn tonight on Raw and retaining the belt at holding the belt to get to WrestleMania and retaining it at WrestleMania. So, excuse me, he calls out the people who helped Kevin Owens get that victory, and out comes Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Crowd goes nuts. So Shane explains that he was doing what he was doing last week as a sign of goodwill and trying to keep everything copacetic and fine, but it didn't work out that way. He apologized for AJ that he got the match in trouble, and for that, since Kevin Owens will be in Sami Zayn's corner, he will be out there at ringside to make sure everything's okay. To that, Daniel Bryan says himself that he will be at ringside to also make everything is okay from Shane's point of view, because if you have been watching SmackDown, Shane is an egomaniac who is also extremely biased. He's a terrible boss. If WWE has an HR, which they freaking should, oh my God, it is awful there. Their human resources guy has to sign like 20 papers a day. Either way, it's always about Shane. It's always about Shane. As a boss, he is personally attacking 2 competitors and trying to get them fired often. Trying to get them undermined, trying to get them looked down upon all the time. And he's trying to get all the spotlight on him every time, every show, since like SummerSlam, even before that, even at WrestleMania of 2017, it was the Shane show most of the time. And he really bogs down everything. He really does. And it's getting to the point of just being annoying. I'm happy that Daniel Bryan is involved now to kind of spice it up a little bit. But it's still just, it's too much Shane. He needs to take a back seat. And that's what Raw is doing, actually. It's not about the authority people. It's about the competitors and the authority person setting up the matches for the competitors and where they go from there. Not the authority figures and the wrestlers are a part of whatever storyline that they're developing for themselves. I still love you, Daniel Bryan. I have a literal giant figurine of you that my girlfriend got for me. The first match of the first SmackDown of 2018 is American Beta, is what I call them, of Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Usos, or what I will refer to them as the GT Usos, because they look like Grand Theft Auto characters, but great Grand Theft Auto characters. And Right when the bell rings, Shelton Benjamin is like on fire in this match. He takes out Jey Uso, tags in Chad Gable. They do a Shelton does like a top rope belly to belly suplex, and Gable immediately follows up with like a beautiful moonsault to try and pin Jimmy, which he does kick out of. They brawl outside for a bit. Like 2 seconds after they take out Jey Uso, they get Jimmy Uso inside. And they hit their like Doomsday Device power bomb lariat from the top rope move. I don't know what to call it. Either way, they pin the Uso and they get the victory. But wait, and now they're the new tag team title champions. It's like in 5 minutes. It's really, really fast. But wait, another ref comes out. Another ref comes out and says, no, Jimmy wasn't legal. At some point during the match, he tagged in Jey Uso, and Jey was the legal one. So we need to restart the match. Restart! Which does happen. And restart happens. Match basically goes exactly the same way as it did. They have a brawl outside. They get back inside. Jimmy is doing a lot of getting a lot of offense in. Jey gets tagged in. Jey takes control for a bit, but Shelton and Gable get right back in control pretty quickly. They are about to hit their finisher again in a great sequence where Shelton Benjamin has one of the Usos. I want to say it's Jey. Yeah, Jey in a powerbomb position, and he's about to let Gable jump over and do the lariat. But right as he does, Jey bends down to allow Gable to jump over the both of them where Jimmy is standing there and super kicks him, thus completely nullifying Chad Gable. They then get Shelton Benjamin into their corner, do a double super kick. Jimmy gets on top of the top rope and hits a Uso splash to get the 1, 2, 3, retain their titles legitimately, and show that they are the ones in charge of the Uso Penitentiary that is Smackdown Live. Once again, just like I said earlier between Joe and Roman, it seems like in this match between American Beta and GT Uso that they were holding back a little bit. It's very clear that there will be another match sometime down the line between them, and I really want them to like go balls to the wall. It's very clear on the SmackDown side that the two teams that everyone should be looking at is the Usos, G2 Uso, and the New Day, and it's they still make all the other tag teams look great, but they look at a level way above the others. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are very great in ring, and they are like there. They just need that extra character to put them up on par with those two teams. But everybody else also in SmackDown Tag Team Division are looking great. SmackDown Tag Team Division looks great. As I said, the only tag team match that happened on Raw was 3 random guys versus 3 guys that used to be a team that are now perceived as random guys on Raw. Anywho, this isn't the Raw show. This is the SmackDown show. After the match happens, there's a promo segment with Renee Young talking to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens backstage in a Canadian group all together. And basically they're just saying that it doesn't matter what's going on. Sami Zayn's going to do exactly what Kevin Owens did last week and beat AJ Styles because they're just that good, and there's nothing that Shane can do to stop them. And then they go, yep, and walk away. And it's pretty funny, mostly because also Sammy messed up mid-promo. He was like just talking, and he said 7, just the blatant word 7 instead of Sammy. And Kevin, in the middle of his promo while he was replying back, it's really weird that you said 7, but that's okay. And Sammy replies like, well, I mean, Sammy, 7, it's okay. It's just, they seem like just regular people. Out comes Breezango after the commercial break to have a match against the Bludgeon Brothers. Match never happens because Bludgeon Brothers just beats the crap out of Breezango. They just start walloping on him. After a few minutes, actually the Ascension show up and they start beating up on the Ascension. And both the Ascension and Breezango run away, and the Bludgeon Brothers are standing there like, "What up? You came to our place. We're gonna bludgeon you. We're brothers. We're not related. Everyone knows that, but yeah." Let's do this. And something's going to happen with them later, I guess. Now we are on to the New Day had a promo segment backstage of Xavier stating that he is going to face Aiden English in the United States title progression storyline tournament that they're doing. If you have not caught anything yet, 2 weeks ago, if not 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago, Dolph Ziggler won the United States title in a triple threat match between Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode. After he won the match and on Smackdown the next day, Dolph relinquished the title. He basically put it on the ground and said, "Sorry, I don't. You guys don't deserve me. I don't deserve what you guys give me and what the WWE gives me. I'm out of here. I don't even want this title." Puts it on the ground and leaves, which I think is pretty interesting and good. There's certain people that I've seen on Twitter talking about why do people want a title that Dolph Ziggler doesn't even want? Well, one, it's a title. Two, it's a pretty good title, and as we can tell, and as I've said before, it's the person who makes the title, not the title that makes the person. So it doesn't matter if Dolph Ziggler doesn't want it right now, because that's Dolph Ziggler's motive. If he doesn't want to have the title and doesn't want to push it further, that's on him. But all these other competitors clearly do. They clearly want to do something better and other different with the title. And all of them are trying to show the capabilities that they can and that they want to. Trying to fight for the chance to get a title that they see as prestigious and that they also want to get a part of their record and as well as raise the prestige of it. Xavier Woods both Xavier Woods and Aiden English have been doing excellent. That's an X motion for excellent on this by having promo segments all over Twitter about why they should be the next contenders for the title. And it's great. It's great. If you have not seen them or watched them, you should. They're awesome and hilarious. Anywho, so that sets up Aiden English with Rusev versus Xavier Woods. Crowd's very pro Rusev. Crowd's very much into Rusev Day. They are chanting it and really wanting it. Xavier doing great. If anything, 2017 was the breakout year for Xavier in the ring. A lot of people, including myself, definitely saw Xavier as the mouthpiece of the New Day, and that when he did get involved, it was always a lock that they were going to lose. But he showed just how great in the ring he really is. I know he's great from a different viewpoint. I really got introduced to him as Austin Creed in a tournament that I don't think is held anymore. I might have the magazine, and I could probably find it if I go to the Wikipedia page. But that's what I thought was really cool with him. And then he got signed by FCW and then brought in the NXT and now. But I knew he was very good, but he has been showing some great stuff. Xavier put out a really good, you know how Ryback used to do his finisher, like the meat hook kind of thing, walking around, and then he fell back. Well, Xavier did the same positioning, but then lifted up his opponent, Aiden English, and did a backbreaker, which Aiden English showed like he got like a sledgehammer to the back, but he did kick out at 2. Aiden English pulled out the Darkness Falls, that's not what it's called. A person in New Japan called Evil uses it, which is like a fireman's carry brought into a spine buster. He does it very, very well and very smoothly. Which, though, once again, Xavier kicks out. There's some more shenanigans that happen. Big E takes out Rusev. And while Aiden has Xavier up top on the middle rope, Aiden loses control of Xavier, who then hits him off the rope. Aiden lays on the ground. Xavier does a springboard elbow drop, his up, down finisher to Aiden, and wins and progresses on to the next round in the tournament. So Xavier Woods will be facing Jinder Mahal in the upcoming weeks, and we'll see how that goes. Personally, I thought it was awesome. I love the New Day going for singles titles. I think soon, actually, Kofi or Big E should be going after the WWE title. It'll be a great mix-up. I have my own feelings and stories that I can make up and that I do on my own WWE Universe mode on my WWE 2K18. And, yeah, I think it would be awesome. Dasha Fuentes has an interview with the Welcoming Committee backstage, which is a group that none of us ever wanted to see ever again, but it's happening. It's nice. It's okay. They say their stuff. After the commercial break, the Welcoming Committee versus the Riott Squad. I do this because I love wrestling. When I see wrestling that I just can't get on board with, this is one of them. So one, for the past probably 4 to 5 months, it has been a 6-women's tag match on SmackDown most months. If there's 4 shows in 1 month, 3 of those shows are 6-man tag matches. Either way, the Riott Squad get the win with... I'm not even going to go over anything that happens because I was just so disinterested. I don't like the Welcoming Committee. The Riott Squad really, really doesn't do anything except just be there. They're really handled bad. They lost the match 2 weeks ago, and which makes my momentum and care for them really fade away. I like Ruby Riott and I like Sarah Logan. I like Ruby Riott from her days in NXT. I like Sarah Logan from her match inside of the Megan Classic. She's great, and they're really, really bogging her down and telling her to work a certain match. I think Liv Morgan is aight at best. She's just a pseudo Carmella. Carmella really isn't doing anything. She just has a briefcase. She's just there. Her and Liv Morgan are exactly the same portion. Natalya, who at the last pay-per-view of Clash of Champions had a mental breakdown inside the ring and said that none of the people inside of the crowd like her and that deserve her. None of the people backstage in WWE like her or deserve her. That was Marvel being a little crap and knocking something over, and I'm going to deal with that once the show is over. And it's just no one cares. And then there's Tamina, who hasn't really changed and is just exactly the same person as she was years ago with the same Tamina. Don't ta me no don't I got a leather jacket. Don't I got no character. Don't. Anywho, Sarah Logan gets the win with a really, really crappy double knee to the back of the head of Tamina. Nothing really. Match is done. After the match, the Riott Squad, mostly Ruby Riott, does a promo of how they are the best. They're going to go into the Royal Rumble and win, and that yada, yada, yada. No one really cares. Out comes Charlotte, who says, hey, no one likes you, and we're going to beat you up because we are Naomi and the returning Becky Lynch. They go to the ring, beat up the Riott Squad. This is maybe the 4th week in a row that after the Riott Squad do their thing, they get beat up immediately after the show, after the match. It's just rinse and repeat over and over and over again. While in 2016, it was the year of the women's movement on Smackdown Live. 2017 really was the repeat of the same exact things over and over and over again on Smackdown Live. And it seems like it's also flowing into 2018. We'll see where it goes because it's just the first show of 2018. We'll see how that handles. Let's go to our main event. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Immediately when the bell rings, AJ Styles blasts Sami Zayn. Hits him with the clothesline, saying, nah, you ain't gonna get none. You ain't gonna get none. That's in my song. He beats up Sami Zayn. They're pretty even, kind of. At one point, AJ ends up outside of the ring, and he ends up arguing with Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, and Daniel Bryan. He gets back in the ring. Sami hits a very nice fisherman buster on Styles, and we go to commercial break. So once they come back, Sami keeps countering Styles' moves, which is very nice. He doesn't hit the Ushigoroshi. He's hitting a few strikes in there. Mostly Sami's kind of a step ahead of Styles. Eventually, Styles gets him in a calf crusher, and Sami's about to tap, and he gets to the ropes. They really drag it out. It's light suspenseful. The crowd's very into it, very pro Sami tapping, but he gets away with the ropes. Sami hits a nice, nice Blue Thunder Bomb. Great. It looks like he was driving Styles directly into the ground with it. You know how in anime they have the character dug into the ground and their feet's dangling out? That's what it looked like he was trying to do. But Styles kicks out. During a little bit of confrontation, Sammy is about to get like hit by AJ in a move, and he runs towards the ref, which forces the ref to get outside the ring. Outside the ring, Kevin Owens is out there, and back inside the ring, you can see Styles does a crucifix pinfall on Sammy. He definitely got the 3 count, but the ref was outside, distracted by Kevin, who was stopping him from getting inside the ring. He gets back inside the ring and counts. Sammy kicks out. Shane McMahon gets upset, comes to Kevin Owens, pushes him, thus showing once again how biased he is. And that distracts AJ once again to just yell at everybody. What else? There's something that happens. Gets inside the ring, counts him, Zayn kicks out. Everyone's in mass hysteria at ringside. Oh yeah, the ref starts to kick out Kevin Owens. Styles is busy talking smack to Kevin as he's walking out, which puts him at the turnbuckle, right in position for the haluva kick. Sammy runs across and hits him with the haluva kick. Pins AJ Styles, the WWE champion, for the 1-2-3, and Sammy gets a win as the main event on the WWE champion. And it was great. As a Sami Zayn fan, I'm awesome with it. I'm still not okay with heel Sami Zayn, but I am awesome with it. I'm really good, and I'm liking that Sammy's getting some storyline, getting some direction, being on TV, and winning. Winning. Sami Zayn is winning. He never wins. We have a joke inside our house that his song is, I am gonna lose. I am going to lose. I am going to lose. Because that is what I do. Let's lose. Because he loses all the time. So, after the match, AJ Styles gets on the mic and is just frustrated. He's just yelling at everybody. He's saying Kevin Owens is basically jerk, and so is Sami Zayn. Why the heck are Shane and Daniel Bryan acting like kids? Because they really are. They're acting like just straight up children. That he's only out here to try and entertain people. Heck, why don't they just put Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a handicap match against him? Which, to the point, Daniel Bryan takes it serious and says that at the Royal Rumble, we are going to have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the WWE title. Does that make sense? Not at all. Does WWE make sense all the time? Barely ever. But am I going to watch the show? Yes. Because I love Sami Zayn, I love Kevin Owens, and I love AJ Styles. And I think they're going to push out the best handicap title match that we've ever seen, if we've ever seen one. Either way, so far the 2 main shows of WWE were pretty good, very entertaining. There's nothing that really like made me have a mental breakdown, hats off, pissed off. There was one minute that I did with the Welcoming Committee versus the Riott Squad, but SmackDown was good. I'm very much looking forward to it. Next week we're going to have Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder for the progression in the U.S. title. I'm 100% sure Mojo is going to win because, Zack Ryder never wins. He's worse than everybody. He's almost on Kurt Hawkins level of 147 losses. Thing is that he gets these wins every now and then, but nothing too big. They're big, but it doesn't negate from the overwhelming losses that he has. So far, I hope this is the first show that I created for you all, the first review. I hope that I entertain you for this 58 minutes, 31 seconds, 32 seconds, 33, and hopefully you liked it. If you do, or if you don't, whichever one you like, leave a comment down below. Hit the subscribe button to be subscribed to my channel and get updates whenever I upload something. Ring a ding ding that bell so that you get alerted whenever I do upload anything, because I'm sure that to do it all the time, and I'm going to keep you guys entertained. So from me to you, this is the WrestleTrain Express or WrestleJunkie, whichever one I decided to go with. Signing off, telling you be good, be well, and have a great day.